Yes. So, good morning, all. My name is Kiran Nagre, Assistant Professor, Department of Advanced Management Studies, GS College of Commerce, Wardha. Welcoming you all on our digital platform. We have Dr. Sahib Rao Chauhan, Principal of GS College with us, IQAC and MBA Coordinator Professor Parishkrit Agrawal, convener of this national webinar series, Professor Shubhangi Jepulkar, with us, and we have also guest speaker for today's webinar is Dr. Nirija Prasad. I welcome you all in the national webinar series on developing sustainable growth strategies through emerging management trends. Today is the fifth day of this series, and today's topic is mindfulness and social sustainability by Dr. Nirija Upadhyay. Participants, let's have a brief introduction before moving to the topic. So, as we all know, rapidly growing demand for resources has resulted in a substantial and largely irreversible loss of diversity life on the earth. There will be 5 billion more middle class consumers during the next 20 years, which will further increase the consumption of the resources. If billions of people across the world hold materialistic values, making perceived well being heavily dependent on the consumption, it will be hard to achieve sustainability. So, the ecological crisis demands new strategies to rapidly transform our society into more sustainable one. As Hang, a Vietnamese monk of Zen Buddhist tradition said, there is no difference between heading, sorry, there is no difference between healing the planet and the healing ourselves. The purpose behind today's topic, that is mindfulness and social sustainability, is to present holistic conceptualization by synthesizing mindfulness and social sustainability. And to talk about integrative mindfulness and the social sustainability framework, I am privileged to invite our today's guest speaker of this webinar series, Dr. Nirija Upadhyay. She has over 10 years of work experience in the field of human resource, including industry as well as includes mentoring, counseling, and batch flower therapy. She is an entrepreneur heading the brand called Niara. She is an author of a life transforming book called Abracadabra I Create What I Speak. Her multifarious interests reflect her versatility and her thirst for plunging into a creative and constructive projects. I would like to invite Dr. Nirija Upadhyay ma'am to head over this webinar and give us insight for mindfulness and social sustainability. Over to you, ma'am. Thank you. Nirija ma'am.
Yeah, so it's over to me, right? Hello, everyone. I'm Dr. Upadhyay, and my introduction has been done very nicely by the faculty. And so let me now start with introducing this topic, social sustainability and the mindfulness movement. When we talk about being mindful, we know it's all, if we imagine about the word mindfulness, what comes to mind is a picture of a monk sitting and meditating. So mindfulness is not just that. Mindfulness is so much more that we're going to reveal the slides further. Talking about social sustainability, yes, this is, let's talk about a pillar of sustainability as compared to the other pillars. We will see what are these pillars and what is exactly sustainability with a small story, because it's very important for us to know what exactly sustainability means, what exactly are the pillars, and what importance do each pillar carry. This might be a known story for you, but once again, I would like to iterate over here. Now, the story is about potter. Okay, he used to make earthen pots and sell it off. Now, while making this earthen pots and selling off, his process was bringing a limited stock, that is raw material, mitti, or mitti for himself, for his work, make the pots and sell it off. His cost price would be 200 rupees and selling price 210 rupees. So the profit he used to make on each pot was 10 rupees only. So do you really think with the limited quantity of pots that he used to sell and 10 rupees on each pot, will he be able to make a long-term living with this profit, with this amount, with this business? No, it was not possible. So we can't call this business as economically sustainable. Economically sustainable business means he should store, he should utilize some amount and store for the future as well. Keep aside some for the future as well. So now with, with his increased business acumen, he thought, why not I make it more, aesthetically, why not I increase the aesthetic value of my pots? So why can't I beautify my pots? So he started painting it, crafting beautiful things on the pot, and then actually the aesthetic value of the pot increased. And with more number of pots that he used to make, his cost price got down to 170 because the number of products, the finished goods, had increased. So his cost price was 170 and the selling price he increased to 250. Now his profit was 80 rupees. With 80 rupees, he was really very happy that there was a huge, huge jump from this level to this level. So now he was moving towards economically sustainable thing. But then he thought, why not I start, why not I brand my, why not I form a company and brand it and start exporting? So with this, he got a very good idea that why not I, make wooden boxes, okay, cut the trees, make wooden boxes and place my pot in the wooden boxes, pack it beautifully and ship it across. And he did that. And customers were very happy to see these, to receive their pots in beautiful wooden boxes. But this was fine till 1,000 pots, 2,000 pots and so. But gradually his sale increased. So it was the number of units that he used to sell was about 1 lakh. And now what if he needs to pack and wrap and those pots and place it in the wooden box? So for 1 lakh pots, he would need 1 lakh wooden boxes. Do you think this was a sustainable business or this was a sustainable idea when it comes to using the wooden boxes? Probably not, because for those wooden boxes, we need to cut a lot of trees. And with this reforestation wave coming in, cutting down of the trees was not a good idea. So he thought it's not, it was not ecologically sustainable. Then he have to think about some other idea for, placing those pots in some other beautiful boxes, probably metal or something else. Then he started reforestation. Fine. Now he was on the way of economical sustainability. He was definitely on the way of ecological sustainability, but now his businessman, the businessman within him was restless. And he even wanted to, improve his business model and go ahead. After that, his profit-making mindset started ticking. Now, he found there is no harm and he had no objection to allow child labor at his company. So in his company, in his organization, he started allowing the child labor. Why? Because he need to pay less. So his cost price would again get down and, his profit margins would definitely increase. So he started, with the child labor, he started with the poor labor practices like, getting more work done in the less pay, in the same payment. So over here, we can see the disparity. The owner was growing. The owner was growing, but the poor laborers, they were getting down. So there is a huge disparity, inequality, we can say. A good organization will definitely and always want their stakeholders or if we talk only about the employees, that organization would definitely want that employees should grow along with them. If the organization is making money, the employees should also be not only there in that lower line, but they should also, start making more money. If organization is growing, their people should also grow. It's like hand in hand thing. But this person, this potter, lacked this sense, exactly this humanitarian ground over here. So with this less pay practice and getting more work done, he also, started humiliating them so that they get more work for him. This practice couldn't last long. He could make money up to a certain point, but this couldn't last long. Why? Because he missed socially sustainable, practice in his business. His business was not socially sustainable. His people, his workers started leaving the company and find job elsewhere. He would definitely recruit new people, but again, new people would come. They would see the practice, which was not all the practices and policies, which were not from their, which were not beneficial for them, which were not beneficial for their well-being. So they would work for a few months and they would leave. Okay, so then we cannot call this business as socially sustainable. I think with this, we now have a clear picture of what is called as social sustainability. So am I audible still over there, ma'am? Okay. Now we're going ahead with, okay. So again, to clarify more about social sustainability, it's like managing and identifying business impact on people. Okay, so here's the business and here are the stakeholders. What do we mean by stakeholders? Stakeholders is a broader term, and it comprises of the, all the people who are associated with your business. They can be your employees, they can be your suppliers, your customers, everyone. So if the relationship between the business and the stakeholders is healthy, we can say that yes, our business is going on the right track when it comes to social sustainability. We just have to see what impact does our business carry on the people who are working for them or who are associated with them. Now, the examples of social sustainability can be, when we are when we don't compromise on workers' safety. That means we think about our workers. We know exactly what is right for them and what is not right for them for their health. Then that uh, in that direction we implement some policies. Then the other examples are human rights, fair labor practices, work-life balance, wellness, diversity, equality, public, and all the terms that we have heard of, even in our CSR. So CSR can be one of the tools which can be used to implement social sustainability. Okay. So now, when we talk about work-life balance, now recently there was a company um, over here in that is not a local company, that's an MNC, but that had marked in the last year for there was a span of 5 to 6 months. Within those 5 to 6 months, there were 8 employees. Okay, there were 8 employees who lost their lives due to heart attack, and this was all in the same company. I'm talking about the same branch, same company. And all these employees had met with heart attacks, and during that span of 5 to 6 months, it was complete disaster, and it was definitely not less than any nightmare for other employees. Now, what was it? We don't know in and out about any company, but when it comes to heart related problems, when it comes to stress, it is definitely the a responsibility of the employer also, of the company also, of the HR who's working there, to rethink about the policies what they have set for the employees, to rethink about the about the CSR activities, or even not about CSR, just talk about the employees, what type of work environment we are giving to our employees. That is very important. See, when it is said about considering an organization as your family, it's just not on the mic, or it's just not on your flyer or your website. When we say our employees are our family, it has to come from within. Just as for any of our family members, we think about them, we think about their well-being, we think about how each day is, how they face each day, what problems are going on with our family members. So in the same way, it's very important to see what our employee is going through. In general practice, if we can say, when it comes to performance appraisal, I worked as an HR in a few companies. So when it comes to performance appraisal, it's very easy to get to your software and start filling and giving them ratings, tuck, 3 rating, 4 rating, 5 out of 5. I'm giving 2, I'm giving 3, and everything. And then based on that, we'll give them bonus, or we'll give them pay hike and promotions and everything. Everything sounds so beautiful, exactly as we learn in our books. But there is something that goes beyond this as well. What is that? In one of the companies where I worked, there was this very good practice. When they saw that there are few employees whose work performance has suddenly got down in 6 months, or in a span of 6 to 8 months or something, they would ponder over it. They would not just shoo them away. They would ponder over it. What is the reason why this particular employee has shown this drastic level down when it comes to performance? And then they would get to know that either that employee is facing problems in his personal front, or he has some problems with his manager, or probably he is no more interested in that particular team. He wants to switch over and go to some XYZ team, some other, we can call it as a career shift. Okay, he wants to suddenly go into training, and he has that newly found interest. So this is how it works. And that company would not only just keep that data, maintain that data with them, but they would work on it. They would talk to their managers. They would, arrange skip level meetings with HR. They would arrange the meetings with psychologists and ask that person to talk to the psychologist, which they have hired. And they would get into their lives and see what exactly is missing, what exactly is stressing them. So this is where social sustainability comes into the picture. Now, how do we do it? Basically, this we have seen the example of the few companies, but how do they do it? For now, this is where we are gradually moving towards mindfulness. Okay, so when we talk about thinking of having better policies, having better plans for our people, for the stakeholders, for the company stakeholders, for our employees, for our suppliers, for whosoever is associated with the company, even if we talk about a food manufacturing company, when they think about the end consumer, their customers, how good quality food we are making for them, that also is a part of social sustainability. Because you will sustain as long as you give the best to your stakeholders, and you give them what they want from you. Okay. Now, when we talk about stakeholders and when we talk about employees, are you giving them what they need? If they need work, they're ready to work for you. They're ready to extend their, push their boundaries, and they're ready to give all their KSA, all the knowledge, skills and abilities that they have. They'll, dedicate it for your work. But are you, on the contrary, giving them what they want? When they are stressed, are you really ready to peep into their lives and see whether they are able to balance their work and their personal life? If they're not, what can you do for them? Are you there with them when they say that there's something wrong going on within the company? Are your policies really rolling out, or are they only on the papers in black and white? That is where you need to see. And ये सब कब होगा, आप कब देख पाओगे? When you have time to see into this, all the humanitarian problems. When you have time, when you extract some time to listen to them. And when can this happen? When you have compassion for them. See, it's as good as when we talk about a maid coming and working at our home. Let's start from that level. When she comes and she tells you, I have a cut on my palm, and wherever I was working earlier, there's a cut on my palm. I'm not able to do XYZ work today, but I'll do the other work. Do you give her with compassion? Do you listen to her and you give her time, your time and your compassion? And are you ready to tell her, okay, fine, wait, don't do it? Or कोई काम मत करो, चले जाओ. Do you say that, or do you tell her, okay, fine, ऐसा है, एक काम करो, आधा ये काम करो, आधा वो काम करो, कोई बात नहीं, सबके साथ होता है. This happens to them also, you know. People are there when they say, सबके साथ होता है, कोई बात नहीं, छोड़ दो, भूल जाओ कि तुम्हें लगा है, आज ये काम कर लो और फिर चले जाओ. There is when you talk about compassion. Okay. Here I gave a very household example. But when we talk about the organization, you have to maintain 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 employees. And even when you have to maintain just a team of 10, you need to practice compassion. You need to give them some time. You need to understand them. And there might be a set pattern. अगर ऐसा होता है तो हम यही करते हैं. अगर ऐसा होता है तो हमारी कंपनी में यही होता है. If you take medical leave, then you have to be present in our office the 16th day, 17th day, or 10th day. This is our practice. Fine, that was your practice. But these practices can be changed if it's need of time. Okay? So you need to rethink, you need to take out time, and you need to rethink on how we, how we do the things. Also, you cannot blame on government for everything. Government का ये rule है तो हम ऐसा करेंगे. Government should think about this. We are not the ones who should think on, social sustainability and everything. They should come up with some law. Or there's new technology, and new technology will take care of this. New things will take care of this. No, these things are there intact. But you are the one who actually need to jump in and start social sustainability at your workplace as a leader. We will see how and how it can be done ahead. So mindfulness is one of the tools which can be definitely used to keep your social sustainability on track, or keep your social sustainability pillar in line with your organization. So what exactly is mindfulness? Or what is the difference between being mindful, as you can see on the screen, and being mindful? Okay, when we talk about being mindful, this is what we are. We are today. Our minds are full of मुझे ये करना है, मेरा ये meeting है, I want to do this, I want to do that, I have to attend this meeting, then I have to take this person out for this particular thing, and there are a lot of issues that I want to take care of. When your mind is full of all these things, do you really think you have your heart, and you have the time to align your heart and mind and practice compassion, or come up with some creative ideas? No, it's not possible. See, I've been an author also. I've written a fiction. I know what is being mindful. I'll take my own example over here. When I talk about the daytime, it was mindful, F-U-L-L. It was mindful. I had to do this work, that work, a lot of other work, a lot of other stuff. But at the night, that was the time when I would really sit for at least 2-3 minutes. I would take deep breathing, I would take deep breaths, and I would align my mind and soul. By doing this, I would come up with a lot of creative ideas, a lot of new ideas, and I would go on doing tuck, 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 and finish my chapters one by one. Why I could do it only in the night time, when everyone was asleep? Because that was the time which I could say that was me time. I could utilize my mind, I could utilize my heart and mind, pull them together and come up with creative ideas. This is mindfulness, living in the present. So this is a quote that I found, and I thought I should share with you, that every morning we are born again. Every morning is a new day. You are reborn. Okay. So what we do today is that matters the most. आज मैं क्या हूँ, आज मैं क्या करने वाली हूँ, या आज मैं क्या करने वाला हूँ, that matters the most. कल के लिए मुझे क्या करना है, परसों मैंने क्या किया था, what I have to learn from it, everything have to be kept aside for some time. Why? Because we need to practice presence, focusedness, being focused and consciousness. So mindfulness is a club of these three: being present, being focused, and being conscious. Now, what do we mean by being conscious? Being conscious means to observe the things without judging them. Okay, so when we talk about living in the present, many people do ask me, even in my seminars, what do you say? What do you mean by living in the present? Does that mean we should not think about the future and we should forget about the future? We should not save for the future? No, that is not what we call by being present. Being present means understanding what is going around you without being judgmental. Now, so here, can I quote an example, ma'am? I hope I'm audible still.
Yes, ma'am, please go ahead.
Okay. So I would like to quote an example. Say we're talking about mindfulness at a workplace. So there's a meeting going on, okay? And this person, A, is attending the meeting in a conference room, and his focus is on what that presenter is wearing, and what type of what type of slides, and he's just being criticized, he's just being critical of the slides and the layout being used, he's just being critical about the shoes that he's wearing, and again his mind jumps into something, what he has planned. Probably after the meeting they have exotic lunch and all planned, so kya lunch mein hoga, or his mind is wandering over the past, just before entering into the room, what his colleague had told him about the presenter or about the topic of the meeting and XYZ thing. So if this is happening with that person is certainly not being mindful. Now, if this person practices mindfulness, if this person practices mindfulness, what change we will see in this person? This person will be only focused on what the presenter wants to say. But over here, he won't be judgmental. इसने ये कहा है तो जरूर इसके पीछे ये reason होगा. He won't think that. He will just be present and he'll just observe and listen keenly to that presenter. He will observe and he'll be conscious and he'll be focused. तो उसे पता होगा what that presenter exactly wants to say. So there will be no delusion. There will be no dilemma. Whatever the presenter is trying to say, he will be able to catch it straight in the same way. There will be no other meaning associated to it. Why? Because his mind will not connect him to other meanings. His mind will keep him focused to extract only those things which are required and which that presenter wants to say. In this way, if we practice mindfulness in each and every part of our organization, if we train our employees on this, definitely our employees are going to be more creative, they'll be more focused, and because this will be very clear and calm, they will come with they'll come with more innovative ideas, and you will see that their efficiency is increased. This is what has happened in Google also. Google swears by mindfulness. Okay, now fine. This also talks about rewiring. Yeah, when I say rewiring your brain, what is there in my slide, when we talk about rewiring your brain, so what does that mean? This means there is some crisis that has taken place. Now, how you react to the crisis. Now, over here, I would like to take one more example of one of the telecom companies, which I got to know. So now this company had a very irate customer visiting them and telling them about his plan, or kyun mera bill itna aaya, and he was so irate. Now there were other store, along with store managers, there were other people also. Now this store executive, he wanted to explain him, kyun aapka bill itna aaya hai. So, but since this customer was very irate, very irritated, this person also lost his mind और उस कस्टमर पे ये एग्जीक्यूटिव हावी हो गया. दैट मीन्स this executive started yelling at that customer and all. On now, as a result, this customer got again, he got wild. He started throwing things over there. How bad was that? Now, how did this throwing things and getting wild of the customer, how did this start? This started with this executive who couldn't control himself. उसका जो reaction था, उसका जो response था towards this crisis was very irate. Okay, he couldn't control his emotions. He thought, he exactly knew from his past experiences that yes, ये ऐसा कस्टमर कर रहा है, इसका मतलब अब मेरा जॉब जाएगा या कुछ होगा. तो वो और इमोशनल हो गया. And in that, emotional, being more sensitive, he got wild. Emotions don't only make you cry, they also make you go wild. So this is how it happened. Then this critical incident was taken into the picture when they next year they wanted to plan training and all. Now these guys, this telecom company, then came up with some mindful practices. Okay, they started making mindfulness, making it a habit for their employees, specifically with those employees who meet with customers on day-to-day basis. Now, till date, this telecom company, this is what one of the HR had told me. So till date, this telecom company has a reputation that their employees, their store managers, their employees, and who face to the end customer, how so irate the customer is, they have patience. They offer them, some, something to drink, juice, and they will offer whatever they can at that time, and they'll keep that customer relaxed. That customer and they have this, they have noted this. वो customer उन्हें छोड़ के नहीं जाते, but that customer is very happy. That irate customer जो ये सोच के आता है, I'm not going to continue with this telephone services, he continues with the same for years together for the, in their future. So this is just a small example which I thought I should give, because this is something that had taken place, and how mindfulness is very effective. Mindfulness is, it can be practiced not only in this, in any manufacturing company or service company, but service sector, but this can be widely adapted by every sector. West में this is now, this is now into practice, but over here in India, we still need to rethink on our current practices and on adapting mindfulness. What will mindfulness give us? This mindfulness, or give us and our employees, it has multitude of benefits. So you can see, as I've already told you, the creativity, it will be increased. Decision making will also be increased to a greater extent. Now, when we talk about improved intuition or improved creativity or improved decision making, who is, along with the employee, it's the employee himself, who is going to, in a total, if we see who is going to get benefited out of it, it's the company. Okay. Why? Because if each one of us, if I am an employee, so if each one of us focuses on how creative I can be, and we have that very good bonding with each other, so we will help each other. We will think, we will think from a very different angle about the task that we have in our hand. So it will be more caring attitude. We will see more about the acceptance, accepting ourselves and accepting our team member as he or she is. Now, why this is important and how mindfulness will help us, that is something that we need to see. We are a chain, okay? We are a chain. If I'm practicing mindfulness and I'm happy and I'm adapting by nature, I will adapt my team member as he or she is. I will understand that, yes, there is strengths and weakness with each one of us. If I'm less talkative and that person is more talkative, or if that person has a habit of, intriguing every time in between my work, fiddle with my work, it irritates me. But somewhere I will definitely know that this is my teammate. I can improve or I can bring changes in my teammate with compassion only. If I continuously go on nagging, that teammate will be as it is, okay? वो तो सुनने वाला नहीं है, but I'll get irritated, I'll get stressed. So compassion is the one common ground where we can bring all our employees together. And for that, we need to practice compassion first as the leaders. If a leader is mindful, then it will percolate down to the employees. And this will be a common practice in the, in the company. So well-being, compassion, all these things will come to us with mindfulness. Now, since I have talked about mindful leadership, I would like to brief you about this particular term. This is a new term, mindful leadership, but this is a fantastic thing and a magical thing. There was this company, even in the Google, it had how mindfulness came into the picture. Initially, not everyone was ready with the term of mindfulness. Because when we talk about mindfulness, we think about occult sciences, we think about the monks and all, and we don't actually know whether this mindfulness is going to affect us and how. But this has been scientifically proved. Mindfulness helps to rewire our brains. Okay, so now if we talk about a leader practicing mindfulness, so we can call, if this leadership is being practiced, we can call it as a mindful leadership. Okay, so Google did the same. They started with a few people, and just as they took it as an experiment, and they saw drastic change in their employees. Those employees who were at the grassroots level, they were more creative. Okay, they came up with very beautiful ideas. Out of the box thinking were now their habit after practicing mindfulness, and also their attachment with their job increased drastically. Okay, so when I attach myself emotionally and mentally both, okay, happily, emotionally, mentally, that means if I attach myself with the work happily, I tend to give more of me to that work. And this is how my work becomes better. My team gets better in the work, in their efficiency, in the team's efficiency. And this is how the total the company benefits. Okay, so if I practice mindful leadership, I get opportunity to access my values. कई बार आप देखना, talk to the leaders, talk to the managers, they know what are their values, but in the go, because they have a lot of materialistic things that is there in their bucket list. They know though they have their values with them and they are aware of their values, they'll keep it aside. Chodo isko, let's see what we need to complete this task. Okay, so with this chhod do attitude, that values takes a back seat. But we actually have to see whether leaving behind our values will matter us. And talking about sustainability, how sustainable we will be. ये कितनी देर तक, कितना लंबा चलेगा we working without our values and only focusing on our targets. So it is just like our story and the potter. Okay, he had left his values aside, and he started encouraging child labor and everything. So his business over there did not last long. He had to shut down his business finally. So might be the same case here, might not be the shutdown basically, but जितना हम profit earn कर सकते हैं उतना नहीं होगा. Why? Because our business won't be socially sustainable. So Google also practiced mindful leadership. And what are the benefits of mindful leadership? They are like a leader will become more introspective, okay, and he will have more clarity over what work he has to do. He will have more clarity about which work to be given to what type of person. Okay, it's like a round peg in the round hole and a square peg in a square hole. So he needs calm. He needs to be calm. A leader needs to be calm over here to see what type of work can be done in a better way by what kind of employee or which particular team member can do this work in a better way. And so this is how it works. Now, again, talking about mindful leadership, how can we inculcate other values in a person? Now, when the leader is mindful, you will definitely see his mindfulness will affect his emotional intelligence. Okay, IQ is important, but EQ, that is emotional intelligence, is equally important. So a leader will who is practicing mindfulness daily will definitely have a heightened level of emotional intelligence. Now, when we talk about emotional intelligence, we talk about empathy. I'm not talking about sympathy over here. Sympathy comes along with compassion, but over here I'm talking about empathy. Empathy is putting yourself into another's shoes and observing the things from that point of view, getting out of those shoes again, and then trying to come up with some solid decision. Okay, so this is empathy. We need to empathize also. Only a mindful leader will have this what we can this attitude and this attribute of empathy, to empathize with the employees, with his team members. And this largely affects leadership. Let me really tell you, empathy and care, compassion, this affects your leadership style. Okay, this sort of connects you. There's a warm connect between you and your team members. Otherwise, it will be same as we've seen in the movie. A leader in a movie named Sholay. I don't know whether this generation knows about it, but yes, there was a very famous movie Sholay, जिसमें that Hitler,
Ma'am,
yes.
ma'am, sorry to interrupt you. We had a technical glitch on Parikshit Agrawal's side. So, like, we have to wait for some time. Like, our YouTube live has been stopped for now.
Okay, right now.
Yes, ma'am. So, like,
Uh,
we have to wait for some time.
your voice is cracking. I'm so sorry. I'm not able to.
Ma'am, actually, we had technical glitch over here. So,
Okay.
here we have to start our live thing on YouTube. So, we have to wait for that.
Okay, we have to wait.
So,
Okay.
otherwise, it will be added back to the meeting and then we will live stream the remaining program.
Sure, sure. So
So,
I'm waiting.
so sorry, ma'am.
No, that's okay. But by till which line or till which statement of mine we were together?
Just a second, ma'am. So, we were at mindful leadership. And somehow, after that, we stopped the live streaming. Like, it.
Okay. I had just started with mindful leadership over there.
No, you can like end it. The last point was you were discussing there.
Okay, only that time. Fine. So we are not live right now, right?
No, no.
Ask you something, Miss Kiran, right?
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
ma'am.
So how Z am I? My how's the pace? Is it okay or
Just a second, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So yes. So whatever you're saying, like mindful leadership, I could relate with it very well. I don't know, but I guess leadership, mindful leadership is a need enough right now because like somehow pandemic is happening and we are stuck into this kind of situation. Everyone is, I believe, everyone is mindful than rather than mindful, right? So I guess this topic is very much related personally on my level too, and I'm very much like it is very thought provoking session, ma'am. Thank you so much.
was it okay? So
I have been jotted down all the points you are saying, and I've that keeping that content into my mind. Thank you so much, ma'am, for
okay.
this session. I believe.
Thank you so much. See over here, I'm not able to see you guys, so I'm not able to gauge your expressions also. So let me ask you.
Are you able to see me now?
No, my screen is. I've not shared. I mean, my screen is still shared, and so I'm not able to see you guys. I've not logged on YouTube from here, so I'm not able to see your reaction. I am in a habit of gauging people through reactions and then turning my way of talking or where I'm drifting and all. So.
But ma'am,
I
I
would.
would like to connect you on a personal level now because I guess it is like a new topic for me, and I was like, oh, this is very relevant to me. So I would like to connect you on personal level to ma'am.
Definitely, most welcome, dear. I'm always there. I hold WhatsApp classes on affirmations and all. So over
Okay.
there also with the practice, I make them practice mindfulness. I make them practice all these things, and they have such beautiful results. They have very beautiful results in their lives, personal lives also. They have actually started manifesting their dreams in reality. So this is how.
Okay.
So mindfulness is something which is very close to my heart, and I can go on talking for 3 hours.
That I can see, ma'am. Ma'am, sunset continuing over here. Live stream will stop, but after that, this recorded and
Okay.
upload on YouTube. On YouTube. Okay. Okay. So, ma'am, we will continue this session,
Okay. So this
and
recording
later
will be
on we will.
uploaded.
Yes. Later on, recording will be uploaded on YouTube.
Okay. So I'll continue.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So here I go. Now, while I am talking about mindful leadership again, one thing I would like to repeat over here, that is when a leader practices something, or if leader practices XYZ thing and into his work, into his dealing with his employees, everything percolates down. It gets down to the employees. If the leader is compassionate, it will get down to the employees. Aaj nahi to kal, these employees are going to practice compassion with each other, with the customers and all, because that will be ingrained and imbibed, in their. It will get embedded within them that I have to practice compassion. It is something like that. Now, and if the leader practices mindfulness, similarly, mindfulness will get down. See, this is what we even practice at Niara Herbals. That is my venture. Why I'm giving my example, because over there we practice all these things. So it feels so nice when we have team dinner or team lunch. So it's nice to hear when the employee says, "Ma'am, you just tell us what do we want to do. We have to do. Okay, we together will bring Niara up. Niara Herbals will be a huge brand. It will be known globally and all. So they have even bigger dreams. If I have short-term dream and long-term dream, they have longer-term dreams for my company. And there is where I really feel that yes, they're my family. Okay, and but it doesn't come free of cost. You need to give them compassion. You need to be more creative while handling your staff. If you as a leader are creative while handling your staff, you will exactly know how to handle each and every employee. We we will have employees from different backgrounds. They have their upbringing is from different backgrounds, so for each and everything we cannot blame them, we cannot laugh at them, that see how they are and see how he is, and see she doesn't have sense of XYZ thing. If she doesn't have sense of XYZ thing, she definitely has something more and something extra and something better which your rest of the team members won't have. Probably she's not able to communicate with the customers, but she is able to handle the account very properly. Okay. So this is what you have to gauge. आप ये कब gauge करोगे? You will be able to gauge all these things only when you're calm over here. Only when you're prepared, ready, steady, get set, and go over here in your mind, in your brain. So when your mind is ready for all these things, you will have, automatically you will see scope of bringing in creativity, bringing in compassion without using your materialistic mindset. Okay, so handling all these things together. Now, this is how mindful leadership comes into the picture, and this is how it's extremely beneficial. Um, now, I will also tell you, share one case about due to this COVID pandemic, which is there. Many people who are victim of COVID. Okay, so they don't feel the welcoming approach of the management. Okay, or the leaders of the management towards them. if they are still unwell, they are, asked forcefully to join, and, don't take half leave, half day leave. You have to be there. It's a lot of loss. Since you were not here, we have faced a huge loss and everything. If this is the mindset, you tell me, will you really feel attached? Will you really feel this is my family? Because if it's your family, your people are going to help you. Your people are going to, convince you that yes, we are there for you. You don't worry, buddy. You just go and take rest, or you come here, work a little bit, and go and just take rest. Don't be here for long. Buddy, we are here. Okay, this should be the feeling. Now, when we talk about new entrants into the company, don't just start, don't just jump and try to judge them. When people are new in your company, it's, a bit, probably you might even laugh it out, but yes, I do believe that it's just like when a lady, she gets married and comes into a new house completely. Their culture is different. Their thought patterns are very different. She knows only one person probably, and in many cases, she doesn't even know that person. So everything is new for her. And right from that day one, if you start judging her, she won't feel connected at all. She won't feel this is my family. Same thing happens to the new entrants in your company. Okay. On this also, I had a very good discussion with one of the directors of an MBA college. So he agreed to this. He said yes, even he thinks the same. It's just like whenever there are new entrants in your company, you need to welcome them, show your compassion to them, tell them. And this is where the mentorship comes into the picture. Many companies over here, they have properly assigned mentor few um, a few trainees who join their company, or the new entrants. So they allot the mentor. What that mentor does, that mentor showers compassion, that mentor showers the feeling of trust, and I am with you. This feeling is imbibed within them. So with all these things, that new entrant into the company feels very much, very much welcomed. That is the time when, जब आप उस नए employee को जताते हो कि you are important to me, for our company, and we are there. Don't worry, you will stumble down. We will pick you up. We'll lift you up. So don't worry, you just walk. So when we give that confidence, when we show that confidence to that employee will suddenly, there will be a sudden connect with with the company. And when, if you are able to connect the employee with your company on the grounds of, or a heartfulness connect, where I can say, if you have that heartfulness connect with that company, then that employee will definitely dedicate himself towards that work. Okay, he won't go on, watching kitna time hua hai. He won't go on doing this. He would rather forget about the time, and he will go on working, and his colleague will come to him, his manager will come to him, chalo chalo ho gaya, kal kar lena. And this, I have seen this difference wherever, in whichever companies that mindfulness was practiced. This was a huge change that they saw with their employees. There was an instant connect. So this is mindful leadership. Now you would say, ma'am, fine, we understood mindfulness is very important. We understood how mindfulness will increase our intuitive powers, our sixth sense, how mindfulness will bring creativity and all. That's fantastic, fine. Mindful leadership, we got this concept very well, and we understand whatever leader will practice, it will percolate, it will get down to the employees, and we are perfectly okay with this. But the real question lies in how to practice mindfulness. How do we practice it? So here are a few tips on practicing mindfulness. So training and coaching can be arranged on specific skills like attention, clarity, empathy, keeping this as your goal. Okay, compassion, attention, clarity, empathy. Keeping this as your goal, you can plan a good training and coaching for your employees. Okay, and different training and coaching for your leaders, because your leaders have to understand it more. Okay, because your employees are going to follow your leader, but your leader should be at the right track, on the right track. So training and coaching is one of the ways. Then ask them to be consciously present. Okay, as I've told you, being consciously present means no judgment. No judgment should go over here. It should be just a mere observing. Mere observation should go with you. Now, when we talk about multitasking, this is also one of the very largely talked about topic, multitasking. Should our employees be multitasking, or should they not? Take one thing at a time. That doesn't mean multitasking is a bad idea, but even while multitasking, you cannot expect your employees to do all the things all at one go. Or you need to, if you know that your employee is going to multitask, he has 3, 4, 5, 6 things on his hand. Train your employees on how to bifurcate the time. Okay, how to bifurcate the time so that all the things should go hand in hand, but he should be able to focus on one thing at a time, then drift his focus to the another thing. Okay, so this is how multitasking can also be controlled using mindfulness, and this can also be taken care of by training, coaching, and mentoring. Mentoring is we can say the most essential thing that we need, our employees need. Now then, there's very important topic over here, that is slow down to pace up, slow down to speed up, else efficiency can drop down to zero. Now what do you mean by slow down? हम अक्सर सुनते हैं speed बढ़ानी है, and you cannot just stop, but you have to slow down. Now what does this mean? When you're just rushing, your mind has, जितना आप physical activity आपका, you're just typing it out, यहाँ काम कर रहे हो, वहाँ काम कर रहे हो, ये जितना दिखता है उससे double rush is there and double noise is there in your mind. So it's very important to slow down mentally. Take a pause. Now, how can we take a pause? You cannot sit. Ideally, what I suggest to the leaders is, जैसे ही आप आते हो, when you, in the first thing in the morning that you can do after getting to your seat is, in your workplace, getting to your seat is, just close your eyes, sit still, okay? Take 3-4 deep breaths and think nothing. मुझे अब क्या करना है? After meditation क्या करना है? Nothing. Or even if you don't know how to meditate, don't go for it. Fine. Just take deep breaths, and during those deep breaths, don't think about anything. कौन मुझे देख रहा है, कौन नहीं देख रहा है, मुझे कौन सा काम करना है, nothing. This should be completely blank. See after that how you get energized. It's just like charging your mobile. Okay, so you get recharged and you have ample of energy to do that work, do your daily work, and you will have some, we can call it energy sustainability. Okay, so and you can save some energy for your rest of the day as well, where you can spend a better personal life. If a person is happy at the work, he will be definitely much better in his personal life also. Seriously, note it. Okay, and this is how things should be good. Personal and work life goes hand in hand. अगर यहाँ ठीक नहीं है तो यहाँ नहीं होगा, यहाँ ठीक नहीं है तो यहाँ नहीं होगा. So you have to bridge the gap and bring a balance between both these things. So and there's one more trick to mindfulness. You can take a mindful walk. You can take a break and take a mindful coffee. Now, what is this mindful coffee? This is what I do when I have a very hectic day. When if I have a lot of sessions and I really need a mindful break, I don't have time to go and walk. So I take a mindful coffee break or mindful tea break. Now, what is that? When I have that cup of coffee in my hand, okay, you can even see it from my expressions right now. So I'll just focus on that coffee and me. That's it. Nothing comes on my way. So with each sip, I start feeling better. And I've trained my mind that with each sip, my mind will be more calm. Though coffee is very hot, but my mind will be more calm. I'll feel re-energized. I'll feel very happy. So this is how you can practice mindfulness in your own way. This having a cup of mindful coffee is my way. Even I would suggest taking just a mindful walk. Now, what is a mindful walk? This is what is even suggested to many corporates, that they ask your employees to take a break. Even in the IT companies, ask your employees to take a break. They sit for longer hours. So just take a break, say 15 minutes, go on a walk in the premises. Okay, don't chit chat and all. Just go on a walk in the premises and see that butterfly over there. Just see how the leaves have changed the color. Just see how what is the ripple effect in the pond over there, or whatever you have. If you have a pond or a fountain or anything, just observe without being judgmental. मैं यहाँ हूँ तो मेरा कलीग वहाँ क्या कर रहा होगा? No, that is not mindful walk. मैं यहाँ हूँ तो बस मैं ही हूँ. मैं यहाँ हूँ and the nature is here. मैं यहाँ हूँ, I'm observing the things. I'm observing how the things had fallen down, how that security guard lifted it, and I've just observed. Okay, if you want, you can help him out, but just observe and move ahead. So this is how mindful walk can change your pattern of thinking. It's all about, if we try to bring down everything, narrow it down to one word, I can call it as a thought pattern change. Okay, so you need to change your thought patterns. तब आपको ट्यून इन करना है. इट इज जस्ट लाइक ट्यूनिंग इन एंड ट्यूनिंग आउट ऑफ द रेडियो चैनल्स. सो कब आपको कहाँ ट्यून इन करना है, कब आपको ट्यून आउट करना है, दैट इज इन योर हैंड्स. प्लीज अंडरस्टैंड दैट everything is in your hand, and I request to all the leaders to practice mindfulness. I request all the corporates to bring this mindfulness into practice. Only then we will be able to better get better in the compassion and creative ideas. Or हमारे employees को whatever problems our employees are facing, we can better able to give right or roll out right policies for them, or come up with right solution for them, where we can say our society, or not even, don't even talk about the society, but start from your organization, our organization, or even down your team, is socially sustainable. Social sustainability should be the tagline. If I talk about, I'll take just a few minutes more. If I talk about the earlier days, जब हमारे 3 pillars में से only economical pillar पे ही ज़्यादा जोर दिया जाता था. It was why? Because back then people used to think that nature is always there for us. Okay, it's always there for us. ये नश्वर है, ये जाने नहीं वाला. It is there for us. So they would hardly care about environmental sustainability, and then the last thing was social sustainability. But gradually, when people started feeling that ये nature हमारा तब तक ही साथ देगा जब तक हम उसे sustained रखेंगे, if we keep it intact. If we go on cutting trees, and if we go on building more buildings, and no jungles, or only cement jungles, इस तरह से हमारा कोई concept है, तो this nature is not going to last long. Then came importance of environmental sustainability. Now it's time to think about social sustainability. Why? Because human force, this workforce is very important. After all, our organization runs with our workforce, our people, our family, our organization. So if we think for them, and and if we think about their betterment, we get better with their medical policies. If we get better with their stresses, if we, I mean to say, if we focus on their stressors, which are the stressors for your employees, focus on them, try to break them free from all these stress posting things. So it will be beneficial for your employees. Hence, it will be beneficial for their teams, organizations, and the society also. It is giving back to the society. If you have that social license to go ahead with your work, with your company, with your organization, if you have that social license, that means you definitely have to give back to the society also. So be better for your people who are there for you, who work for you, who are your stakeholders, and be better for society in that ways. Because society is giving their people to work for your company. So let's give them the best. Google, Intel, Nike, Aetna. These are the companies, these are the top 4 companies who swear by the results of mindfulness and mindful leadership. So with this, I think definitely we are going to focus more on mindfulness, and hence more about social sustainability. And I leave you all with a thought that you are the sky, everything else is just the weather. Think that you're the sky, you have power, and everything is just the weather, it will come and go. So, without thinking much about that, think about the present, be in present, focus, and observe without being judgmental. So, this is what I would like to tell, and I would like to share with all of you, and hope we all will bring mindfulness into practice, which will definitely affect this third pillar. So, with this, I stop my today's session. Thank you.
Okay, so that was very enriching and the thought-provoking session for me, and it was a full of related examples too, ma'am. Now I would like to take over this session. By this session will be taken over by the Pooja Upadhyay Madam for further vote of thanks, ma'am.
Sure.
First of all, thanks a lot, ma'am. You have given so many live examples which are actually happening in industries and in different corporates, except the corporates which you have mentioned over here. But still, people are not aware about the mindfulness, the social sustainability. They are working on environmental sustainability, but still there is very much unawareness related to mindfulness and social sustainability. So thanks a lot for giving such an important lessons and examples to we people and our students. That's going to be very helpful for all of us, ma'am. Thanks a lot. Here I am going to complete this session. And thanks on behalf of our Department of Advanced Management Studies, GS College of Commerce, Vardha, our convener of this event, it is Shubhangi Jipulkar, ma'am. Then IPLC Head and India Department Coordinator, Mr. Parishpreet Agarwal, Assistant Coordinator of the Department, Shrikant Baku, sir, co-convener of the session, Kiran Nagriman, I and overall department. Thanks a lot. Thank you, ma'am. And at the end, I want to conclude it with the line which you have shared and impressed me a lot that every morning we are born again. What we do today is what matters the most. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much. I thank you all for inviting me for this session. And moreover, I am so much thankful to this for you all for bringing this concept of sustainability. And this is of utmost importance. And this should be in the wave nowadays. And thank you so much for inviting me today. Thank you all.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Audio is on still.